Hello, this is Steve at Air Guns of Arizona in the repair department. And today we're looking at the new Wolverine R from Daystate. The R, of course, meaning that it's a regulated gun. And it's a beautiful piece, and we're going to be talking about the trigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tools, and today we'll be needing a 5mm wrench. That's going to be the Allen wrench that you'll take the stock bolt out with. Just a flathead screwdriver, and it needs to be thin enough, and I'll show you why it needs to be thin enough in a second. And then, of course, a 2.5 Allen wrench as well. So let's go ahead and take the stock off, unscrew the stock bolt. Very easy to do. I go ahead and I'll take the dust cap off the fill valve, put that aside, make sure I don't lose it. Wiggle this action back and forth in the stock until it comes out. I'll go ahead and lay the stock. We will be looking at the trigger. Again, I said that you would need a flathead screwdriver that's very thin, and the reason being is it needs to go in to the trigger guard. If you have a wide screwdriver, you'll never get that in. You'll scratch it, you'll do damage. So we'll go ahead and we'll loosen up the two screws holding the trigger guard on. We'll go ahead and position this. Now this slides over this trigger shoe, and so if it's canted a little bit, you'll have to position this in a way that it comes off, slides off very easy. The trigger itself has been adjusted by Daystate, and it usually comes in set very light. It's very crisp, and so if for some reason you feel like it's maybe too light for you, or it's maybe too heavy for you, there's really not a lot of adjustment that you can do, except there's one screw, and that's this one right here in front that I'm pointing. This is a 2.5mm Allen wrench, and in this case I'm going to cock the rifle. Okay, it cocks. I know that I'm in good shape. If I go in, I know that I am at the point where it's too light. It's not engaging the sear mechanism, and so at this point I can start going back if I'm trying to make this trigger as light as possible. So I can take small increments, and I can, okay, it's trying to catch, but I'm still not there. Okay, I'm gonna go a little more. There we go, it caught. So at this point, I'd say, okay, that's about as light as I can get this trigger. I mean, I could adjust it maybe and play with it, but I also want to have the trigger that's safe. I don't want it so light that if I happen to bump against something, that it goes off. So, and of course, in testing the Wolverine rifle, you have to close the bolt. You can't decock this rifle. And so with that in mind, you can go ahead and test. And it is a very light trigger. Now, if you were at the point where it was too light, you were at this point and you say, oh, that's too light, I feel like it's unsafe, then what you would do is you would just, instead of going clockwise, you would go counterclockwise until you feel like the trigger is heavy enough for your liking. Again, I know most shooters want it as light as possible, especially whenever they're out target shooting or even hunting. And so, again, Daystate sets their triggers up to be nice and crisp and light. So that's it. It's a very simple trigger to adjust. There's not much to it. Putting it back together, it's this flat area here, and there's a curved area here. The flat area is going to go in the front as far as towards the barrel. And so we'll put this back together. Get that, line up the screws, go ahead and I'll tighten that one. I'll tighten that one. Take our action, make sure that we line up the stock correctly. Slide it in position. Go ahead and take the stock screw, our 5mm wrench, tighten it up nice and tight, our dust cap, and we are ready to go. I'm glad that you were able to share some time with me today at Air Guns of Arizona's repair department. I hope this video helps you in adjusting your trigger. And if you want to, feel free to look at some of our other videos on other guns. Again, thank you very much, and have a great day.